This is Lama Tantrapa. Thank you for joining me for this webinar dedicated to creating and manifesting your destiny. Today, I would like to dig deeper into the exploration of your own process of manifesting and living your dreams. But before I go into that, let me give you a little bit of an idea why we're doing this. I believe you have dreams. I believe you have aspirations that you would love to see manifesting in your life. Both you, your friends, your family, and other people around you would probably benefit a great deal from you manifesting and living your dreams. Now, of course, not everybody finds the way to manifest their dreams in this lifetime. But what is it going to be like for you if you don't manifest your dreams? What if you actually continue living the way that you are living right now? So I don't know how dedicated you are to manifesting your dreams, how important the dreams are to you or to other people, and maybe not just people, but also to other living beings. However, what I know is that if you do manifest your dreams, I'm sure you will become a happier person. You will become a person who lives life with less stress or struggle. If you learn how to manifest and live your dreams, you will be more pleasant to be around. So that people who are in a relationship with you, perhaps your friends, your partners, your colleagues or students, will benefit from that. But most importantly, you are the one who's going to benefit the most from manifesting what you really desire to manifest. Now, how do you know that you really desire something? How do you know that you have passion for manifesting something in your life? That's probably something that keeps you awake at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's probably something that you've been holding in your heart for a long time, long enough to develop the sense that this is really my dream. It's not somebody else's dream. It's actually your authentic dream that you would like to manifest and live. Of course, other people would like you to manifest the dreams for them, but you are not going to be as happy if you manifest other people's dreams, but you don't manifest yours. Of course, it's great to help other people manifest their dreams too. So don't take me wrong. It's a fantastic thing to know. And as a matter of fact, this is exactly what I'm doing for you. I'm helping you manifest your dreams. Why am I doing this? Because the more people you help manifest and live their dreams, the more people will help you manifest and live yours. That's exactly what I do for other people. When I'm asked, so what do you do? You're a Tibetan Lama and Qigong teacher. What do you do for a living? I say, I help other people manifest and live their dreams. I help people connect with their dreams, discover what is really their authentic dream, and then help them create strategies and follow through on their game plans. So I would like to be able to do that for you as well. A great house to live in and a nice car to drive. This would be a nice manifestation of a dream, wouldn't it? Now, some people dream of living in an exotic, wonderful place like Bali or some other place that many people can only dream of living. And this is just one of many examples of what people try to manifest in their lives and often fail short. For example, I've traveled the world, and this is one of the big passions of mine. I have passion for travel. I have an affinity for meeting with great people, learning great things, and also sharing what I have to share with others. Maybe you too have an aspiration to travel the world and to share with other people the wisdom or the insights that you've come across through your exploration of what it means to live a life you dream of. This is something that I definitely can help you with. Believe me, this is not something I just came up with. It took me 20 plus years of hard work and constant learning to develop the system that I am about to share with you today. And 20 years ago, I was still living in Ukraine, shoveling snow, struggling with the everyday constraints of life in that country. Growing up in the communist regime definitely was not an easy thing to do. And also, obviously, there were a lot of limitations that were imposed on people who were living in that country. I did a lot of martial arts. And so this is one of the things that I also started doing as soon as I moved to the United States. And it was hard. As you can see, there were just a handful of people who would take my classes or workshops. And of course, I also started doing some healing work, Qigong therapy, as well as hypnotherapy, and created one of the few Qigong clinics in the United States at that time. And eventually I also started producing my own talk show, The Secrets of Qigong Masters. And in addition to the show, I also produced hundreds of teleseminars and webinars, just like the one you're attending right now. Now, this is something that I've been doing for a long time, and over the course of these years, I've actually come across a number of people, literally hundreds, if not thousands of people, who received my coaching and who benefited tremendously. Just one of them, Nathan Homan, could be a great case study that I would like to share with you today. In his written testimonial that he sent to me, he said, "Why can I speak with such enthusiasm and praise for Lama Samananda Tantrapa? Because before I met him, less than a year ago, I thought I always knew exactly what to do next, but I spent most of my time trying to avoid looking like a failure. I was always in control, but I always was terrified that at any time I would wind up totally powerless. I was always right, but felt like I needed to prove that you're wrong. Always got what I wanted, but was always careful to deny my own real desires, just so I could pretend that I was getting what I wanted." Maybe you can see where it's already going. In the last 6 months alone, through my work with Lama Tantrapa, using the unique and specialized practices that he is lineage holder of, I accomplished the following. Recovered from an acute, debilitating injury, which often disables people for life, and for which complex, dangerous surgery is often prescribed. I did this without any painkillers, drugs, or medical expenses whatsoever. In fact, at one point, when I mentioned my problem to Lama, he led me through a simple exercise, which eliminated more than 90% of my pain within 10 minutes. I survived and am recovering from the devastating effects of a suicide in my immediate family, and I'm able to offer appropriate support to my other family members while maintaining my own health and without blaming myself that I could have done more. I applied for and received a scholarship that enabled me to meet, network with, and become close friends with the leaders in my field around the world. I had never applied for a scholarship before in my life because I didn't think I was worthy. I moved into a new country so that I could marry the love of my life, something that until Lama taught me how to take control of my dreams, even the power of unconditional love was unable to help me to do. Now, this is something that is a pretty powerful testimonial of the coaching methodology that I want to share with you today, based on the integration of the ancient energy arts of Qigong with a modern methodology of life coaching and strategic planning. Over the course of the years that I've been doing Qigong coaching, this became very clear to me that one of the reasons why people have a hard time manifesting what they want to manifest is because they actually
have a hard time coming up with plans. It's not that they cannot follow through on decisions that they make or plan that they make. They simply have a hard time creating the game plan for themselves.
So now, when I work with people like you, it's really easy for me to help you develop real clarity about where you are, where you're going, and why. What kind of energy resources you need to tap into in order to be able to manifest the dreams. And also, what are the preliminary steps and certain milestones that you need to know about so that you would know that you're on the right track, traveling in the right direction, so to speak. And if you deviate from your course of action or from your game plan, obviously there also need to be certain ways to get back on track and to keep yourself accountable. Now, it's a lot easier to do with somebody who actually is another person by your side, who can keep you accountable, who can maintain certain degree of mindfulness and motivation. That's exactly what the coach does. And that's exactly what I would love to do for you as well. When I started practicing Qigong coaching, I was already an accomplished therapist, practicing Qigong therapy and operating the Portland Qigong Clinic. But I felt it wasn't enough because people who I was working with would get a lot better as a result of taking session with me. But then they would go home, and the next time I see them in a week or two, they would often forget to do the homework, whether it included some exercises or breathing techniques or meditation practices. Sometimes I would prescribe just simply paying attention to alignments of the body, and people would often forget to pay attention to those. So I realized that the reason why they were not remembering or often getting distracted from things that I prescribed to them was because they were not the ones who decided to do this work. In other words, it was me, an authority figure, who told them that you need to do this. And many people have some internal resistance to authority. Or they simply had conflicting values in their belief system that distracted them, or perhaps created certain hesitation or certain unsureness about what to do and how and when. So I had to create an alternative way to working with people, and that's exactly why I pioneered this profession of Qigong coaching. Now, years later, literally 12, 13 years after I've done it, I continue working with people, but not in the context of my coaching clinic, but worldwide. It doesn't matter where you live. Geographic distance between us doesn't make any difference. The time difference between our time zones doesn't make any difference. I can work with you no matter where you are and what time zone you're in. What does make a difference is your will to actually focus on manifestation of your dreams. So that is an important piece that I would like to talk to you about.
I invite you to take a pen and a piece of paper and draw a big circle covering pretty much the entire piece of paper. We're going to divide this circle into 6 sectors, essentially creating a pie chart, a wheel with 6 spokes. And as you can see, this pie chart will address different areas of life. Of course, some people may say, well, there are more than 6 areas of life. Some people may say there are fewer. And for the sake of simplicity, I prefer to stick with the 6 main arenas. The first one, and probably most closely related to Qigong practice, is health and wellness. The question is, how satisfied are you with your level of health and wellness right now? Assess your level of satisfaction with it on a scale from 1 to 100, with 1 being totally unhealthy and 100 being absolutely healthy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mark the level of your current satisfaction on the scale from 1 to 100 along the line dividing health and wellness from career and finances. So the spoke of the wheel can be our scale from 0 at the very center of the wheel and 100% being at the periphery of the wheel. Now, where would you put your current level of satisfaction with health and wellness? It may be closer to 0, although probably you're not at 0 because it would be dead. And you're probably not at 100%. Very few people actually experience total health and wellness. Just make a mark on the spoke of the wheel, dividing health and wellness from career and finances. And let's move on to career and finances now. Let's see where you are in this particular area of your life in terms of your level of satisfaction. Again, on scale from 1 to 100, with 1 being totally unsatisfied with the career and how it's unfolding, completely broke or in huge debt, versus 100% satisfied. At 100% being on the edge of the wheel, with 0 being in the center of it, where would you mark your current level of satisfaction with career and finances? And once you place the mark, let's move on to hobbies and sports. Obviously, for many of us, Qigong practices and Tai Chi and martial arts and related disciplines may also fall under the hobbies or sports. Or perhaps you have other hobbies. Maybe you collect stamps, or maybe you downhill ski, or maybe you go scuba diving or something else. Let's see where you are in terms of your satisfaction with your involvement in hobbies and sports, and mark your level of satisfaction on a scale from 1 to 100 along the spoke of the wheel dividing hobbies and sports from family and intimate relationships. The next step is family and relationships. So let's see how satisfied you are with this area of your life. Obviously, not everybody is fully satisfied, and maybe there are some people, but probably not many, who are absolutely unsatisfied. So there is probably going to be some kind of bell curve with the majority of answers falling somewhere in between 0 and 100. Where would you mark yourself on that scale along the spoke of the wheel, dividing family and relationships from social life and contributions? And I'll move on to social life and your social contributions. Where would you mark your level of satisfaction with this area of your life? Obviously, there is a lot that you can contribute to humankind or to your particular community. What's the quality of your social life? How satisfied are you with your involvement in society and also your level of contribution to it? Let's mark that on spoke of the wheel, dividing social life and contribution from personal and spiritual development, and then move on to the personal and spiritual development sector of this pie chart. The last but not the least, let's assess how satisfied you are with this area of your life. Again, on scale from 1 to 100, along the spoke of the wheel dividing the personal and spiritual development from health and wellness, let's mark your level of satisfaction at the present time. The next step would be simply to connect the dots. In other words, I invite you to draw the lines connecting the dots on those spokes. And it may be a perfectly hexagonal figure. Most likely, there's going to be some differences between the levels of your satisfaction with various areas of your life. Some may be a lot higher, some may be a lot lower, or anywhere in between. I wonder how satisfied you are with the picture that you see. In other words, we're not looking at the level of satisfaction in a particular sector only. We also want to see the big picture. What's your level of satisfaction with your current state of affairs? As you can see on your pie chart, There may be some areas of strength and maybe some areas of weakness. The areas of strength obviously are usually associated with a higher level of satisfaction. And areas of weakness are usually less satisfying.
Let's continue working with this pie chart. I'm going to invite you to revisit the health and wellness part of it up on top. But now, let's imagine what it's going to be like if you actually manifest what you aspire to manifest by the end of this year. Or sometime in the future, whatever reasonable amount of time you give yourself to manifest your dreams. Many people think about them in terms of a year or so. Some people give themselves only half a year. Others may give themselves 2 years or even 3 years, and that's okay by me. On average, people often use the beginning and end of the year as an excellent milestone or time to check and see how things are going or have been over the course of the year. Since it's not beginning of the year anymore, we've already lived through the first 3 months of this year, even more than 3 months, 3.5. So let's take a look at the remainder of this year. For example, if you look at what is going to be like for you if you actually manage to manifest what you desire to manifest by the end of this year. Let's take a moment and visualize that. It's a practice of visualization that actually allows you to tap into the source of your dream, because it's not somebody else's dream. The source of your dream is actually within you. So I invite you to get creative and remember that you're dreaming. So sky's the limit, or at least realistically speaking, if you manifest what you aspire to manifest by the end of this year, what is going to be your level of satisfaction with health and wellness? That's right. Now let's mark your level of satisfaction on that same spoke of the wheel where you marked the level of current level of satisfaction. That spoke dividing part of the wheel dedicated to health and wellness from the one dedicated to career and finances. And let's move on to the career and finances. Where are you going to be on this scale of satisfaction in terms of your career development and in terms of your wealth? If you manage to manifest your dream that you aspire to manifest by the end of this year. Let's mark your level of satisfaction on the scale from 1 to 100 along the line dividing career and finances from hobbies and sports. For most people, it's going to be a higher point. In other words, the mark is going to be further away from the center of the wheel. Very few people try to manifest a dream that would actually bring them less satisfaction than currently. So let's move on to the hobbies and sports. Let's see if you continue visualizing yourself at the end of this year, having manifested what you aspire to manifest. How satisfied are you going to be in terms of your involvement in hobbies or sports that you do? Let's mark that level of satisfaction on the scale along the line dividing hobbies and sports from family and intimate relationships. And the next is going to be this sector of pie chart dedicated to family and intimate relationships. Again, let's continue focusing on your vision. Having manifested what you aspire to manifest, how satisfied are you going to be in terms of your family life or intimate relationships? Let's mark that level of satisfaction on the line dividing family and intimate relationships from social life. Next step, let's take a look at social life and social contributions. How satisfied are you going to be with that area of your life by the end of this year? Granted that you manifest what you aspire to manifest. Let's mark your level of satisfaction with this area of your life on this poke of the wheel dividing social life and contributions from personal and spiritual development. And let's take a look finally at personal and spiritual development in the way that you would like to be by the end of this year. If you manage to manifest whatever you desire to manifest, how satisfied do you want to be in this area? Let's mark that on the spoke of the wheel, dividing personal and spiritual development from health and wellness. So now you again created a new set of dots on all the 6 spokes of this wheel. Let's connect the second set of dots, the dots associated with the manifestation of your dream. I wonder if it's going to be more rounded circle, or at least hexagon. But most importantly, do you notice the difference between where you are as opposed to where you want to be? Now, this is where our job is really going to be important. We are going to take the journey from where you are and your current level of satisfaction with each and every one of these aspects of your life to where you want to be. And that's exactly what I helped Sheldon in the last video with, walking him step by step through the process of developing the strategic plan, the game plan for the rest of the year that is dedicated to identifying specific steps that need to be taken. If you watched that video, you know that I asked him to draw a line on another piece of paper. So if you have another piece of paper, or just flip this one upside down, you can also draw the line pretty much from one end of the paper to the other. And let's put the word today on the left end of the line. On the right end of the line, year end. So obviously, we've just created a timeline. This is the timeline associated with the transition from where you are to where you want to be. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to develop a strategic plan, the plan of taking particular steps that will help you manifest and live your dreams. Obviously, for each person, some of the steps need to be completely unique. For others, there may be some commonality or similarity. And the most common thing about this particular exercise, building the timeline and creating a strategic plan, is that the first half of the game plan, or the first half of the year, is the most important, because that is when you build the foundation. The stronger the foundation, the more capable you will be of manifesting what you aspire to manifest. If the foundation is weak, or in other words, the initial steps that comprise the beginning of this journey were taken in the wrong direction, it will be hard to get back on track because you already got yourself off track to start with. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide this timeline in half. And I invite you to put a dot or draw a small vertical line in the middle of this timeline and put the words mid-year next to it. Since we have slightly over 8 months left of this year, obviously the mid-year is about 4 months away from now. Now, we just worked on visualizing where you aspire to be by the end of the year. We looked at particular aspects of your life associated with the manifestation of your dreams. Now let's take a look at the mid-year point in time, or the point in time about 4 months from now. Where would you need to be so that you would know that you're on the right track? And in 4 more months, you will be able to say, yes, I've manifested what I aspired, and I managed to manifest by the end of this year. Obviously, there's going to be some difference between where you are at right now and where you need to be in 4 months. in order for you to be on the right track, so that in just 4 more months, you would be actually living a dream that you set out to live. So now let's consider not only what you would feel in terms of the level of satisfaction in all these different areas of your life, but I invite you to visualize the energy that you would need to have in order to be able to manifest what you need to manifest midway between now and the end of the year. If you keep the same energy that you have now, probably you'll be doing the same things that you're doing now. For some people, it may be just fine. For others, it may be grossly insufficient. As a matter of fact, most likely, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll be getting the results that you've been getting. Will you get to manifest your dream if you keep getting the results that you have been getting? If not, let's see, how do you need to be in 4 months from now so that you would be able to manifest your dream, and in 4 more months, you would actually be able to honestly say, mission success. I've done it. I've manifested what I aspired to manifest. Notice that we are actually talking about the midway point as another dream. That's right. In order to manifest a bigger dream, you'll need to manifest a smaller dream. This dream that you would like to manifest in just 4 months from now, maybe not as glorious or maybe not as satisfying, but it's definitely an important dream. Because guess what? If you get to live another year, what you manifested by the end of this year is going to be just a halfway point to where you aspire to be in 2 years from now. Hopefully, you will continue progressing, you will continue growing, you will continue evolving. And the same applies also to a shorter period of time. So let's divide the left half of the timeline in two, with a dot or a point in between today and 4 months. So obviously it's going to be 2 months from now. Where do you need to be in 2 months from now so that you would be on the right track? And in 2 more months, you would be able to say, I've manifested what I set out to manifest at the mid-year point, 4 months from now. So let's take another moment and visualize. And probably in your visualization, you'll realize that there are certain subtle changes that you need to experience within yourself. Maybe tap into a different energy, or be in some way other than the way that you currently are, so that you would be able to actually accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Now, this is an important ontological way of looking at the process of manifestation. It's not something that just requires doing. It actually changes a certain level of being. So, the doing and being are not really separate, because who's doing and who's being? That's right. This is going to be a Zen koan for you. Before we get into Zen koan, let's take a look at even a less distant future from now. Where do you need to be 1 month from now, so that in 1 more month you would be at this point where you would actually need to be in 2 months? That's right. You can put a mark 1 month in between today and 2 months from now, dividing this line in half again. And I invite you to visualize what you need to do and how you need to be. And what kind of energy would you need to have in order to say truly, I'm on the right track, and in 1 more month, I'll be where I need to be in order to manifest my dreams that I aspire to manifest 2-month point. So again, there is certain progression. There is a certain progress that you need to experience. If you are exactly the same way a month from now as you are at the present moment, maybe it's not going to be so easy to actually manifest what you need to manifest. So there's going to be some change. There's going to be some evolution happening on a small scale. Let's take a look at even closer point in time. How about 2 weeks from now? Where do you need to be in 2 weeks so that in 2 more weeks you would be where you just said you would need to be in a month? Again, let's take a look at your way of being and what you need to be doing and what kind of energy you would need to tap into and embody. You see, it's really the embodiment that matters. We're not just tapping into energy and channeling them, we actually walk the talk. Just talking is not enough. It's important to walk the talk. That means we become an embodiment of the energies that we tap into, associated with certain states of consciousness, associated with certain capabilities and resources that we need to tap into in order to manifest our dreams. If you don't tap into those resources, if you don't step in those altered states of consciousness, if you don't embody them, what's the likelihood of you actually being able to do what you set out to do? That's right. It's probably going to be pretty slim to none. So let's continue working on this. Just 1 week from now, let's divide the last bit, the 2 weeks period of time on the left side of this timeline, into 2 again. Where do you need to be in just 1 week from now so that you would honestly be able to say that you're on the right track, and in 1 more week you would be where you aspire to be at 2 week point? What do you need to do? How do you need to be? What kind of energies do you need to tap into and manifest in your physical body, in your relationships, in your career? Each and every one of the aspects of your life will have to start changing in order to accommodate or in order to adopt to the changes that you experience within yourself. You're not going to be the same person if you continue progressing along this path. And that's okay. You don't need to be the same person because you're going to become a better person, more capable, more resourceful, happier, healthier, more relaxed, with greater relationships, with greater finances. I hope you don't mind that. Now, of course, doing this exercise today in the context of this webinar is one thing. What I would like to do is I would like to work with you one-on-one so that I really help you develop crystal clarity and supreme confidence that you can do this. And if you have any doubts about it, I will help you dispel the doubts, because I will help you tap into the energies within yourself that perhaps you haven't been able to tap on your own. I'm an expert at this because this is my area of expertise. If there is any coach in the world that is an expert in tapping into the energy resources, I would say that is a Qigong coach. And Qigong coaching is the profession that I pioneered. So pretty much every Qigong coach in the world has been trained by me. So I invite you to work with me directly, and I will not charge you anything for this orientation session. That's right. I normally charge a fair amount of money for my coaching, but I want to give you a gift. One coaching session at no charge. How do you sign up for that session? At the end of this webinar, I will send you to the website where you will be able to register or sign up for a complimentary session with me at no charge. And I will be more than delighted to help you tap into the resources that you need to tap and find the ways to manifest and live your dreams by the end of this year. And each and every step along the way is also going to be a process of manifesting your dreams. So you're not going to just start manifesting your dreams 8 months from now. No, you actually will be manifesting and living your dreams little by little, step by step, all the way from now to the end of this year. If I work with you as your coach, obviously I will be able to take you by the hand and help you travel along this path, because I've been down this path myself. I know the pitfalls, I know the shortcuts, and I'll be able to help you maintain the clarity of your focus and motivation to continue going. But before we talk about that, let me just work with you one-on-one. And I'm going to give you my direct email address, tantrapa@gmail.com. Feel free to email me and ask me any questions about manifesting your dreams or creating a destiny this year. And I will be happy to answer your questions to the best of my ability. Until then, have a wonderful time. Namaste.